Okay.
Well, it's 8:33.
All right. All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to another
All right.
live
Good
stream.
evening,
Samantha
everyone.
Just Inspire. I want to welcome everyone that's here tonight. Everyone that's in the chat, I will get to you in just a second, but I just want to
Good evening,
thank
and
everyone
welcome.
for being in the house. Tonight is going to be a great night. We have our guest, Pastor Gilford Monrose, and he's going to be talking to us about so many things tonight. And we're going to get into his introduction in just a second. But before I do that, I wanted to just thank everyone that's been supporting me thus far in my YouTube journey. It's been a year, and I am very happy with my community of friends and followers that's always here every night and rocking with me. And of course, you guys and of course, confetti for everyone that's always here supporting me. Okay, so thank you for that. You guys deserve that. So, with no further ado, I'm going to do the introduction to this wonderful person that I have known for so many years now. It's Gilford Monrose. He lives in New York, and he's from the islands. We'll get into some questions about that later. But he's an advocate for youth, for ministry, a leader, and he's doing awesome work in his community. And I wanted to say that he's not just a pastor or a leader advocate, but he's a friend, he's a father, he's a husband, he is someone that is making a difference in so many different avenues, so many different areas of his ministry. And we're going to welcome him onto that. And I want you guys to give a round of applause. I want you guys to light up the chat, say hello, say good evening, and welcome him tonight because we're going to get into some conversations tonight that's going to inspire, motivate, and uplift every young person that will hear this or watch this over the replay so that you too can make a difference in your community. You too can be inspirational to people that are around you. So let's welcome him on tonight. Pastor Gil, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Good evening, Pastor Gil. How are you? How are you doing this evening? How are you
I am
doing?
doing good. Doing good. Thank you for having me on.
Good. Now everyone in the chat, let me know if you can hear, if the audio is good. Are we at 100? Can you hear our guest clearly? Um, Let us know. Drop a number 1 in the chat to let me know if the sound is okay and you guys can hear. And there's no echo as well coming through. Drop a number 1. We do have a few guests already in the chat that we'll get to in just a second. So, Pastor Gil, I just want you to just I'm not gonna say introduce yourself, but just tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I am a dad. I'm a father, husband. Um, I love to think about myself as being a bridge to people who is in need of resources, people who is in need of hope, inspiration. As a leader, as a pastor, as a philanthropist, um, just being able to be a blessing to the people in my community that I serve, but also to a bridge builder, right, around the world to bring diverse people together for the common good of humanity. And so I would just say, like, I'm a do-gooder if you want to put put it in one word.
That is awesome. I I know that you are doing a lot in your community in New York and you advocate for so many different things. I know gun violence is one of them and youth and things like that. Can you just tell me a little bit about the transitioning, how at this moment right now, how is that going in New York City? What is the, how can I say it, what is happening now with that, with gun violence and with youths and things like that?
Yeah, that's a big topic, right? Gun violence is definitely a big issue in urban America.
Yes.
Um, gun violence is the number 4 leading killer among African American, especially men. And so we know for sure that we have a big problem with gun violence. But gun violence is an epidemic. It's an American epidemic. So we have a obsession with guns, and so some people would make the argument that guns is not the problem.
Hmm.
Well, guns, they are the problem, right? I'm talking about illegal guns, illegal firearms. That's really ripping through the cities of America. If you look at Chicago, Indiana, Milwaukee, um, Miami, New York, the Virgin Islands, the Caribbean, the Ukraine, if you look at all over the world, gun violence is a problem. And so one of the things that we want to make happen is to shift the paradigm of the American ideal of guns to be able to say that even if young people have a gun, we want to make it in a way that they don't have to use the gun. And we do so through mentorship, through leadership, to programs, to services, to resources, to education. And the problem with gun violence and the way that you solve or cure the violence is that we have to look at it as a public health
Right.
epidemic. And so you have to deal with the mental health, you have to deal with social net, you have to deal with education. It's not just one thing. So it's a holistic approach to the violence that we're seeing.
Wow. It's amazing that we sometimes don't realize that this is something that affects so many people. Um, Gun violence is not just in one city, like you said, it's everywhere. And it's something that is so big, and yet we look at it as it's just that circle, that is just that area, or just this area, or it happens to just this group of people. But it's a worldwide wide thing that affects so many in so many different levels as well. I wanted to ask a question in regards to the challenges that us as youths face, because I think a lot of times um, we are faced with the situation that we don't really know. We are placed in a situation that we don't really know how to maneuver and how to get through those things. So, what are the biggest challenges right now that you see that the youths in the church area, because in the secular world is something that we can always pinpoint, but a lot of times in our faith in our church world, what are some of the biggest challenges that we are that you can see in the youth that are dealing with in this time that we're living in this 21st century?
Yeah. So there's a couple of things. So I would want to separate young people into different categories. So on one hand, we have young people who are not engaged and involved in
Right.
criminal activities, right? Or gunplay. And so the number one issue that I have with anyone across the board who is not affected by gun violence is apathy. People normally don't get engaged and involved in social justice issues unless it personally touched them. Now, there are some others, of course, as you look at it, the Black Lives Matter movement, and you have a lot of different subset groups that came after the Black Lives Matter movement, especially during the pandemic when we had the summer of George Floyd, and you had people who was very much so engaging in the idea of justice. What does it look like? Challenging the American system. So young people, I believe there is two categories. One, people who are not really involved in engaging gun violence, and so they have a level of apathy. Like, if it don't mess with me, I'm going to do my thing. I'm cool. I got my friends. I'm posting on social media, so I'm good. And then on the other end is young people who are caught up in this lifestyle, right? So this lifestyle could be, it's like a culture. And I don't want to speak against the culture overall in
Right.
terms of just giving it a broad view, but anything that would allow you to be killed or to be killed, or any lifestyle that you live in, that you can't live beyond the age of 21,
Hmm.
is not a lifestyle that you should be involved in. So
Right.
culture, when I talk about this culture, is this culture of less opportunities, reduced possibilities, no resources, failing educational system, living in a particular square mile that you don't move out of, growing around hopelessness, passing on years and years and years and years of crime culture. And so we have those young people who are caught up in that lifestyle. And what we need to do is we need to try to figure out how do we break this cycle so that they can see that there's possibilities beyond the clubs, beyond the cruise, beyond their block, beyond the project, beyond their neighborhood, beyond the places where they live or sell drugs or turf wars that they have or turf that they say that they own. So we have to see the possibilities of how we can get beyond that. So I would think that, again, even in the church, again, there's a level of apathy for young people who are not involved in gun violence. And the second piece is young people who are entrenched in it and don't have an opportunity or way out, that I think we need to provide that way out for those individuals.
Right. One thing that I've noticed too, that there's a deeper issue when it comes to gun violence that sometimes we don't really talk about it. And that is what we need to really focus on, is how do we get beyond just that umbrella of just as gun violence, but there's something else. It's even whether it's their upbringing, their culture, their social life, the things that they have to deal with and face every day. There, that is the deeper issue. And and I know that you're such you're advocate for this, Pastor Gill, and you have a heart and a passion for this era in particular. What motivated you to get involved in this area, being a pastor as well, and you step out, right? You step out in the middle. It's like you step out in the line of fire, right? Because this is what your heart says. What motivated you to do that, to be
Right.
in this position?
Yeah. So listen, I moved to New York City, went to Bible school, and so I was happy just to do baby dedications, weddings, and preach. Like I thought, like this was the thing.
Yes.
You went to college, and they didn't give you any idea or clue that you were living in urban America. So here I am now at the church, trying to live up the dream, trying to be a pastor, and then a young boy by the age of 17 is shot 2 doors from our church. He's shot dead.
Wow.
So that was like my entrance into this thing about gun violence. I didn't go looking for gun violence. Gun violence came and knocked on our door,
Wow.
literally speaking. So so we thought that what would Jesus' role be? Like
Mm,
how would he operate in a contemporary society that saw that the number one issues that is really bringing our community down and killing our young people is by the barrel of a gun. So your morality or your moral compass, what you see is a major need in community, you must respond to that. So if you look carefully in the Bible, right? Sometimes if you look in the Bible, churches are only called to cities. So you have the church of Ephesus, you have the seven churches in the book of Revelation, letters to the
right.
seven churches. You have the church of Galatia. Churches are only called to cities. And so this is how God worked. God worked that when he wanted to do a major work in a city, he would send Jonah to Nineveh. He would send him to a cities. There's always about cities,
Right.
but ministry in cities are different. And so our city in which I was in New York, in Brooklyn, gun violence was a problem. And it is a problem. So what we would have to do is respond to what we think our theology would allow us to respond to and how it would allow us to respond to. And that is that if you see people hurting, if you see people in need, if you see people naked, if you see that someone needs water, the way that you judge according to Matthew chapter 24 is that these are the things that, the Messiah is going to judge you on when he comes back. So for me, gun violence met me. So I didn't start it off thinking about, oh my goodness, I have a great idea. I'm going to work in gun violence. It's just that the city in which I was called to just had a high level of violence, and I think that we wanted to be faithfully present in our communities, and then to be able to respond. And how do you respond to those things? You care for the family. You love the
Yes.
family, but then you also help young people not see themselves in that coffin, and give them opportunities of hope. And so ministries birth out of giving people hope. And then you figure out, okay, how do we do this? Then you start a fellowship academy, you start a single
Right.
parents university, you give them health options. Then you start to lobby Congress and your senators and your community members, how this could be. And then you try to get good parks, and then you try to get a good gym, and then you start to get activities for young people. And so that would lead you to the fact that you have to probably raise money, you have to be involved, you have to march, you have to
Right.
advocate, and therefore here you have it, just being an advocate for a community. So that's how I got involved in what I do, and that's how ministry is shaped where we are now and where I live, based on just the city in which I'm at.
That is wonderful. I know you probably would not have, you may have an answer for it, but 10 years ago, I don't know how long that happened, but 10 years ago, or maybe even 15 years ago, did you catch this vision of you being in the area where you are right now, the place, the position that you're in now,
Absolutely
doing the
not.
things that you're doing now? Did you see that vision 10 years ago? No?
Nah, never. It's like, but every level that you go to, I mean, you know that you want to be impactful. That I do know. Like,
Right.
I always wanted to be impactful, right? That is number one. I wanted to be impactful. I wanted to make sure that whatever we do go beyond just the four walls of our ministry, because church is really about people. And because church is really about people, everything that we do must surround people, right? And that's the beauty about the gospel. The gospel is about people. The way that we live is about people.
Right.
So I couldn't tell you like exactly where I would have been, but I know definitely I would be trying to make changes
Yes.
in the lives of individual. And so wherever God takes you to that level, I know one thing will remain is that I will still want to be making changes in the lives of people.
That is good. A lot of times we make goals for ourselves and we always say, I want to be here in 5 years. I want to do this in 5 years and I want to do this. And a lot of times we have to start focusing on what can we do now? What can we do right now to make a difference today? Because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And I love that you took the time to do this, and not only because you were placed with it, it came to your doorstep, but it's a passion, and it's something that you can see based on your actions and the things that you have been able to accomplish during those years of being in this position. And that is something to commend you on, that you took that path of saying, what would Jesus do? Right? That's the biggest
Hmm.
thing. What would he do? As Christians, we need to understand that we're not supposed to just be in the walls of the church. We're supposed to go out and meet the people where they are, not tell them come into the church, but go to where they are, right? And meet them there, because that's how we're going to make a difference, right? We're not supposed to be saving the saved. We're supposed to be looking for people that are lost, people that don't have the mindset or don't understand what they are supposed to be doing. So I really commend you that you are stepping out, and you stepped out beyond the walls of the confinement of the church, and the movement is great, and you can see the effect in your community, that something is taking place. God Squad is moving, right? It's doing its work. It's doing what it's supposed to do, and that's because you dived into the word, Pastor Gil, and you did what Jesus would do to see the impact. And that is something to commend you on. A question that I wanted to ask you is how do you balance? How did you balance, right? Being a pastor, a wife, pastor, a husband, a father. Now you're an advocate. How do you balance all of this? I'm a mom of two. My 2 year old is he takes over my whole world. I don't know how I do it, but I do it. I have a job, I have my YouTube, church, and everything. And my 2 year old is he's literally everybody right now. Everybody's after Prince, Prince, Prince. How do you, Pastor Gil, balance all of this to be able to be in this position and doing so well at your and being such an influential person in your community?
So that is the number one question I get from faith leaders. That's the number one question. So today I started off with this is my first time that I this retired bishop of one of the large denominations in America offered me an opportunity to coach me, right?
Okay.
and I took him up on the offer. So today was the first session of trying to just see how we're going to flow, where my mind is, what's my goal for my life, and all that stuff. But everyone really and truly always asks me, like, how do I balance and how do I do all of these things? So the best way I can say is two things. And I have learned to actually respond to those things through experience and what people have said to me. The first thing is that it's an enormous gift. It's a spiritual gift because on my own I will not be able to
Be able
do
to
it.
do it.
But so the
Praise
first
to
thing I would
God.
say that it's a gift. It's a gift of leadership administration. That's number
Yes.
one. So now I've been teaching about gifts, right? Going to churches and talking to young people and churches and saying to everyone that every single person have a gift. That's what the Bible says. God gives you gifts. You have to stir up the gifts. And you have to decide, like, I'm going to really work at this gift. It's not a talent, but it's a gift. But it comes with experience too as well. God can empower you, but sometimes, again, if you have what the Bible calls, like, you don't just ordain a novice, you have to have someone who is with experience.
Right.
So the first thing is a gift. The second thing is all that I do is fits on one hand. So I can do church, I can do community, I can do the mayor's office, I can do, well, family is separate, but just in terms of work, it's on one hand because I don't do anything else but this type of work.
Okay.
I'm engaged and involved in this type of work alone. So I don't have to try to split myself up to go to one meeting to deal with an issue in community because the issue in the community affects my church, it
Right.
affects my community output, and it also affects what I report or what I do in the role of government. So it's easier for me to maintain a schedule that requires me to be in a space that covers all of the things that I'm doing. So, for instance, if I was like involved in, like, if I had to have like a part-time job at a store or a security guard or something to that sort, I think it would be like more difficult because people who have like two and three jobs, they have to go home, they got to change, they got to get ready, they got to go out. But all that I do is along the same piece. So if I go to one meeting, I don't have to take off one particular hat in order to be successful at the meeting. I'm just in the meeting because I'm me. I'm doing what I'm doing, even though I have different functions, but they all lead to the same thing, which is trying to help people. So
That
that's
is
what I would say.
yes. You know what, Pastor Gil, when you were speaking, something came to me, and my mom was alluding to that. I remember it was about 13 years ago
What?
that you came to New Jersey. I don't know if you remember,
New
when my
Jersey?
uncle, my brother, brother was in a hospital, sick. It was in New York, and you came, and you know if you remember that night, and you were the one that did the burial as well. Did the you prayed it that night and anointed him that night. Do you remember that? And that
Did I
night he
remember
passed
that?
away. It was 13, about 13 years ago in New York. You came to the hospital and and prayed that night. And I remember the funeral. You came and you officiated, um and you saying about helping people, and you showed up. I don't remember how you got there or who called you, but you showed up. And for years, just Pastor Gil, he's in the business for helping people. He's in the business for advocating for people. He's in the business for reaching people, for going out and bringing people to Christ. And like I said, I commend you so much. And I'm sitting, and it just came back to me. My mom was like, "Son, you remember?" And I was like, "Yes, Pastor Gil." And from that day, we saw the heart, the love that you had for people. And I'm gonna jump into the chat because a few people are coming in and they are
Yeah, I'm
throwing
gonna
some
I'm gonna try
questions
to see
in.
too.
So let's say hello
Okay, you
before they,
you you
let's
you
say
can help me.
hello. I know Yuli's in here. My mom is in here saying good evening. So excited to see Mr. Catch the Vision himself. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have Wayne Merchant also in the house saying good evening. And
All
we
right.
have a few people in here saying, "Hey, Pastor Gil." Let's see.
Who we get?
This is Kenny Cam 30. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to have you. And hey, Sam. Now, I think I know who that is, right? We have a few questions. We're gonna jump into the first one here. Let me pull up a question that I saw came in. Okay,
Actually, I love this question too by
which one?
Wayne Merchant.
How important is this one? How important is it for churches to invest in youths?
No, I didn't see that one, but we can. Okay, I got you. All right. So yeah. So now it leads me into what I want to talk about. Well, what we are looking at when it comes to Catch the Vision Conference, and it's all about something that I coined in my mind with my team, is that youths are our greatest assets. Therefore,
Yes.
we must invest in them. Youths are our greatest assets, so therefore we have to invest, right? The question asks what again? How important is the church to invest in young people?
Invest in youths.
And so we used to struggle um, just thinking about how do you create a budget for a church, right? And normally, what most churches do, for the most part, especially in our tradition, is that we raise a lot of money for buildings.
Right.
We raise a lot of money for bricks and mortars. Like we raise money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, to be able to build four walls, and have a facility. And one of the things that I worked on and I said to a lot of pastors is that you need to invest in your young people. You raise money for them and send them to conferences because they're going to build your ministry. Because you need to invest in young people. Dr. King talked about that, that budgets are a moral document. I can tell the way that you live based on how you spend your money. And so churches need to have a specific budget for young people. Um, and we were talking about that too as well, like in the beginning. How do you put a budget together for young people? And Catch the Vision conferences over the last 20 years did just that. We really invested in young people to give them the tools and the skill sets in order to train them, support them, help them, connect them, so that they can also see that the church is not just isolated in this one particular area, but it's really universal. It's big, it's complex, it's diverse, it's colorful, it's a blessing. With all of our faults and all our shortcomings, it's still beautiful people.
Right.
So churches should have a budget
Yes.
specifically for young people, and most of the investment should go to young people in churches today.
Right, right. And that should answer your question, Wayne. We can jump on to the second one.
What's the
Um,
second one?
that says youths of today are not drawn to churches. What can we do as a church to attract young people?
Yeah. So that's another big question. And that is one of the questions that we're going to be responding to at our conference as well. It's talking about really and truly how do you have an urban theology in a modern context? And because what we're seeing right now with all of the research that we're seeing coming out of the State of the Black Church, the Barna research, and
Mm-hmm.
most researchers that are doing data right now about people, whether or not they're going to come back to church after COVID-19, every report that we've seen is very bleak. Is that the numbers are going down, people will not return, some will return, some churches will do great, they'll do fine, but the church structure overall, or the culture of the church, that is totally shifting. So what we need to do is that we need to get authentic and we need to get relevant. And when I say authentic and relevant, what I mean to say is that relevancy is not just trying to do every new thing that you see on TV or every new glitz and glamour stuff that you see. No, relevancy is speaking to the need of the people in which you are serving,
Right.
speaking to the need of the people which God has called you in your community specifically. And the way that you attract young people is that young people must know that you really and truly love them, that you are authentic in your ministry, and that you have relevancy of what they're going through in their lives, so that when they come into the building, you're not talking one thing and they go into something totally different. You're on the same page. You are triaging them. You're speaking to the spirit.
Yes.
You are talking about their needs. You know exactly how they feel, what they're going through. And then when there is this authentic and relevancy to ministry and to those individuals, you are going to continue to attract young people to your church.
Yes, I think Kenya says it well. So the first thing church can do is come off the soapbox and start being real, being authentic.
So
And
somebody said that to me the other day about the soapbox, and I asked them, "What's really a soapbox?" So I guess a soapbox may be something that movie stars would stand on or something. I mean, I know the terminology, but I just never knew what was a soapbox. So I'm going to research what is a soapbox itself. I think
yes,
it has to do with movies, or you
yeah,
stand on
like
the
soap
soapbox and
operas that's fake or that's not really real. So stop, get off of that, and actually get to the be authentic and
yeah,
real with the youths, right?
yeah. But my question also to Kenny Cam 30 is that how real are also young people? Like how real
Yes,
are you in terms of your commitment? My question always is to young people is like, you have to be committed to something. So even if you're not committed to church, we go to jobs, the dog is out, your last end, you don't get the right, salary, and you're out there, you hustling, you cutting the grind all the time, and you committed to working because you want to eat. The church, on the other hand, um, it's really like, what is your commitment though as a young person to it too? But you could also make change, right? The church
yes,
is If the church is about people, I will always push back on young people and say that I need you to also make the change. You gotta push to make a shift. When people are marching and they're protesting, they're trying to push government and systems, racist systems and governments, and to push them into a place where they need to be. So young people also have to do that too as well. They have to push the church to be what it's supposed to be as well. So it's a two-way street.
two-way
I don't
street.
just say, well, the church need to do everything right.
Yes.
What about young people? You guys also need to step up to the plate too as well, and push the church to its true meaning. And that will mean you being committed to having a church that is relevant and authentic for your peers and yourself.
And, that is so true. If anyone that's in the chat that have more any question, if you have a question, please put a Q before it so I can easily pull up your questions when you do have a question. Okay.
It's
Um,
Kenya. Okay, Kenya.
Shikenya, yes.
All right, last
Just put
conference I
a
went
Q
to
right before
was
your question. That way I can
1996. Okay.
easily to bring it up. She has a comment that says, the thing is when we are real, it's too much for the church because the thinking isn't forward. It's more so our way always worked. So if it's not broken, let's not fix it.
Well, listen, well, apparently you probably um not sure how much you have dealt with me, but I want you to be actually real. I want you to tell me and be real with me. Like, what are you feeling? Like, we want you to be real. I don't want a fakeness to youth ministry. I don't want a fakeness to people that I'm dealing with, because I I deal with life and death all the time, right? So I don't have the luxury of playing games and playing around with people and the emotions and the feelings, because I'm dealing with funerals, I'm dealing with services, I'm dealing with seriousness
Yes.
of the violence, I'm dealing with people's livelihood, I'm dealing with folks who don't have resources, who is going to lose their homes, who is going to be homeless, dealing with the homeless situation. And so for me, I want the realness in church. I don't want the fakeness. The church is not a club for saints. It's really a hospital for sinners. And therefore, if your church, and as well, like, you have to consider that if you go into college, my question to you, like, also too, I have a lot of questions for young people as well. So my question is that we As young people, we go to colleges and then we say to ourselves, I want to change something or I want to be something. They go to college and then they go work for AT&T or Amazon or whatever. Give them their sources, their talent because they're getting a paycheck. I also want young people to say, listen, I'm going to school to be a broadcaster for my church and then also to be on the cutting edge to figure out, well, how am I going to get paid for this, right?
Right.
But even if you don't get paid for it at that point in time, you can really start to even do stuff on a volunteer basis and to elevate the level of our churches. I think a lot of times young people is like, well, since the church don't have this, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go to a church that has this already self-made. I see a lot of people leave smaller Sabbath keeping churches and then they go to bigger churches. They get lost in there. Well, they have all the glitz and the glamour. They have all these things, but someone took the time to build this.
Right.
And it didn't just happen overnight. It took 20 and 30 years. What you're seeing though is you're seeing the blossoming of that person's grit and tenacity and longevity, and you're seeing the person's hard work and dedication coming to the fore. So now you're enjoying this. I want young people to go back and say, listen, I want to make my church like this and I want to be a blessing to my community. It is the same concept, Samantha, that I believe, just like a basketball player, let's say LeBron James, he will leave Akron, Ohio, I think it is, or Cleveland. He's in Ohio somewhere, Cleveland, and he would go to LA and Miami. But he would, they would always go back to the local community and give money and build schools. And they give back to the community in which they come from, even though this community is deprived and a deplorable state and condition. Why? Because they never despise where they come from. They understand the humble beginnings. People in our church, especially young people, have to have the same mindset of an athlete who goes, get to the NBA, come back home, and try to make a difference. They don't discard their hometown. They celebrate their hometown. They look for places where children are underprivileged to serve them and to help them to give back of themselves. And that is what I think that we need our young people to do in our churches too as well. I'm going to be looking down so I can see the notes too as well as you talk to me.
Yes. I have Kenya's in here, Pastor Gil, and
Kenya better text me. She need to be on my Cats Division team for this year.
yeah, she's commenting, and she's struggled with mental health. So we're gonna take a minute and jump in on Kenya right quick and talk a little bit about this. Because she put a comment in there. She says, I struggled with mental health for years. That church thought I'm just operating through emotions. I had thoughts of harming myself and not being able to function in the world because depression was, let me continue reading. Depression was so high, and my church thought it was just a spirit. And I'm not to claim that, right? I'm talking about issues of hurt, anger, and struggles of the flesh, and church never wanted to talk about those things. Um, Let me see, talk about those things head on. It's more so we will get back to that. The struggles that our older church, meme era went through is nothing compared to what this generation is going through now. And let's talk a little bit about that, because that is true. And one thing that I know that I've experienced myself is that a lot of the older church members, they are in that, in what we are going through now is nothing compared. So they may not know how to handle the pressures and the struggles that we're facing now. But Pastor Gil, how can we um, meet that gap? How can we help with, because this is something that is something that we need to talk about it. It's not something that needs to be pushed under the rug or talk about it later, or it's just a spirit, go pray about it and just pray and ask God to take that out of you. It's not about that anymore. What do we need to do now to get to the meat of what's really going on? Because I think a lot of times we focus so much on, you're not reading your Bible, or you're not coming to church, or you're not doing this. But these issues that these young people are dealing with, it's not an easy thing. It's not easy. The devil knows. He knows the good and he knows the bad. and he knows how to test, he knows how to tempt, and he knows what he's doing. So how can we, oh my gosh, I'm feeling this hurt. How can we meet that gap now for these young
Mhm.
people that are going through these things?
Yeah, yeah. So first of all, Samantha, let me just say to Kenya that listen, no matter what is said to you, you are loved. And
Yes.
even though I don't know
Yes.
you, we love you. Um, and there's nothing you can do about that. The second thing too, as well, is that on behalf of the church, I want to apologize to you because sometimes we didn't get it right all the time, and we're learning. We're human beings. We're trying our best to as well. Someone said to me that to be a real rounded pastor, it takes about 20 years. Well, I'm on 16 or 17, so I got 3 years to go to really be rounded out as this pastor, good pastor, what have you. And I think too as well is that mental health. Now the church, the way that the church is dealing with mental health, we also have to realize that we have pivot along the way. We are changing. There's new information. We have a lot of pastors now who are educated, who understand the needs and the hurt. And so for you, my dear sister, we're here with you. We empathize with you, and we want you to know that you are all right. All of us at some point in our life, or not all of us, most people really deal with mental issues, and it's about also to having the right support system around you. So I want to let you know that we're here to support you. We're here to lend a hand to you. We're here to be a friend to you, and we're here to listen to you as well. But thanks for sharing as well and being so open and honest on this platform tonight. The other thing that I would say too as well, you had asked me about like what the church response should be, right? Like we can pray that God gives us the wisdom to deal with someone with mental health issues. So mental illness is different from you have your mental health situation. I do something that is called I take mental health days, right? So there's days when I don't go into work, don't do anything, don't take any calls. It's called a mental health day. For my own sanity, I have to do that. Okay. And so for my sanity, I need to do that. I need to just cut it off and take a break. I take like a mini mental health day every seventh day of the week on the Sabbath. That's a beauty for me because I have an opportunity to unplug from the world
Right.
and to be in fellowship and to get spiritual renewal in my soul. So what I want to say to you is that the church have pivoted a far place, and we are now really dealing with the mental health issue. That where spiritual counseling ends, we then take you to a professional to be able to help you, give you the right medication, or sometimes not even medication. It's also medication and also just seeing a psychotherapist to be able to deal with the issues, to reduce your stress level, and so on and so forth. So I want to say to you um, that the church has moved a long way in dealing with mental health, and we will continue to pray and we'll continue to love you no matter what your mental health condition is.
Okay. And she's saying, "Thank you, Pastor. I got the help I needed because it was a rough season."
Hmm.
But I was just being real that that's the major issue in the church. Um,
Yeah,
I
that's
was
true.
with the scribes when the word was being translated. So it's not about reading the word, it's about applying the word to our lives authentically. And that is that is the meat of it, is how do we apply it and do what Jesus would do. We are it's hard to, depression is a big thing. Depression is something that it's different levels of depression, it's different stages, it's and you, each of them are handled differently. Nothing is handled the same. No one goes through depression the same way. There's not a one pill, a one fix pill that can fix depression. Everyone deal with it in so many different levels. um and it's something that we have to get education for, and
Hmm.
find out how we can, help our youths and help them individually. We can't put them all into one box because everybody's going to deal with it, handle it and go through it a total different way. So that's something that comes with education, training, and
Right.
counseling sessions as well. And finding that time to say, let's meet you where you are and not just put a glove over it and say, put a band-aid on it or slap it on, go pray and you'll be okay.
Right.
It's
No,
never that easy.
yeah, and I think that we have learned. Well,
Yes.
for the most part, those pastors
Mhm.
who are really looking at what is happening in society and is on the cutting edge, they're really learning and growing, and we celebrate them too as well. From from for just dealing with those things in life, and I think that with the conference this year, um these are some of the things that we're dealing with. We're dealing with real emotions. We're dealing with the human relations of human beings. We're dealing with just about how people are thinking in this culture, how people are looking at how to serve in community, but also to how to serve and how to give back. um this is our 20th year for Catch the Vision. So if you came to Catch the Vision in 2002
Mhm.
and you come back now in 2022, it's been 20 years. Like, what can you show for the 20 years?
Right.
Like, you know, how far have you grown? But how have you helped yourself? How have you grown
In your
spiritually
community as
speaking?
well. Yes.
So 20 years is a long time pouring into young people, just giving them a possibility of understanding. My thing for Catch the Vision was always giving young people an opportunity to think about the fact that they're part of this larger global movement of young people, and the possibilities are endless, and that I don't want them to leave the church. I want them to stay in the church, and I want them to bless the church, and I want them to build the church. That was my goal, so that they can go back home to their local community churches and bless them. There's a book that says that staying is the new going. And what
Wow.
that means is that they want people to stay within their neighborhoods. Don't leave. So I bought this house. We moved in here like about maybe 15 years ago, something to that sort. And the reason that we got this house, it was on a program for young couples who was making a certain amount of money back then. And they build these homes in places that was really torn down, and people didn't want to live in these areas. So what they did is that they build these homes, give you these credits
Mhm.
to come in, tax credits, everything, because they know that when family come into neighborhoods, it changed the neighborhood.
Right.
So what they started to do is they started to put families in these neighborhoods, and the neighborhood started to change. You should see right now a house two doors down was sold for close to $1 million. 2 months ago. Before, when you came over here, nobody would want to buy a
Want to
house
buy a
for
house.
even $300,000. But look at the prices ballooning right now. That is the same concept that I want to tell young people, and that's why we started Catch the Vision, is to let them know that it's all right to go back home to your community and be a difference. That's why people who are doctors go back to their local communities and work in the hospital, because they want to be able to help young people to succeed and to grow. I want young people to do that same thing to their churches, to be empowered after our Catch the Vision, to go back to their local church and then to be a blessing to their church.
Let's talk about Catch Division, because I've been to a few, and I know it's it's a good opportunity for young people to come together. And also, what I love about Catch a Vision is that when just the word alone, catch the vision, right? You're going to get something to take back to your little community, your little small circle, and let that vision grow, right? You're going there to catch something, not just to go to. You're going there for something, a purpose to come back into your little circle, and then let that vision grow. And I've gone to a few, and it's always has been a blessing. It's always an open, way to open up your eyes to see the things that you can do in your community. And I haven't been able to go to one to a while, so I know I'm looking forward to the one that's coming up here in July. But let's talk a little bit about that and just give some information on that, and what's the goal, the purpose on this particular year? What is the committee's goal? What are we looking to
Mhm.
do in this 20 years?
20
20
years.
years, something that we
Woo.
should be saying. It needs to be a change, a different something that the young people can come and be a part of, and then take something into their communities to be able to birth something, to grow something in their churches and homes. Let's talk a little bit
Yeah.
about that.
So, so very, so for me, it's really about empowering young people, right? So we changed the vision of the Kids Vision Conference from a youth conference to a family conference about maybe 6 years or more ago, because we really thought that we wanted to deal with the holistic nature of the family as opposed to just young people. Because not only young people, but we need good parenting. Not only good parenting, but you need good leadership within the churches. So what we did is that we changed to a Kids Vision Family Conference. But Samantha, one of the things that I would always be my thing is that we want to empower young people and people on the whole to go back to their local communities to be a blessing.
Yes.
That's the thing for Cats Division. You're coming to be inspired.
Yes.
You're coming to hear thought thinkers. You're coming to hear the
Yes.
landscape of America. You're going to come to hear about what Americans are really thinking about religion and God. So you can have a framework to really understand what is our worldview right now after COVID-19.
Right.
How are we seeing ourselves in this new economy of the world? And what do we have to do in order to be successful, to be able to reach people like Kenya, but also have Kenya reach other Kenyas in the world?
Yes.
So
Yes.
Catch the Vision is about inspiration. It's about coming and saying, okay, I get it.
Right.
I'm staying because I have a work to do.
Yes.
I'm going to be empowered by God because I see all of these cool people are so caught up and they are so sold out for like their communities and they're sold out to be a blessing. And I think that, yes, I want to do that as well. So Catch the Vision have really evolved over the years
Yes.
to a family based conference. And this year is going to be hybrid and it's going to be very, very different too as well. I just want to say to you all is that there'll be no breakout rooms. Everybody's going to be on the main stage. It's one stage. It's going to be at a local church. We're just trying to love people, get together after COVID-19, 2 years not being able to meet. We want to gather. We want to love people. We want to empower young people. We want to empower moms. We want to empower fathers. We want to empower pastors to go back and say, listen, even if you think that your church is not at the same level that it was before, and you don't have all the people back in your pews, we're telling you right now, you can go online. We tell you right now that it's going to be a hybrid world. We tell you right now to embrace technology. So we are hitting all of the areas in which we want, our church to be successful. We want our church to be successful. We don't want people leaving our churches to join other churches.
Right.
Hey,
I have Shika's in the house. She said, "Finally, I made it on the chat. Good to have you here. Good to have you." I'm sorry. I may not have given some confetti to some people that came in for the first time. So let's do
okay.
some confetti.
So we got Chica, you said?
Yes, to
Cool.
Shika. She's in the
Chica,
chat, and she says, "Good evening, everyone. Pastor Gil is good to see you.
what's
Um,
up?
good to have you here. Good to see you. She is part of the she's on the committee for joint youth.
Oh,
Um,
great.
yeah, she's on the
Good.
committee for joint youth. So good to
So
have
yeah, let
you
me talk to
in
her
the house.
directly then.
Yes, good to have you here um tonight. I am looking forward to this catch division because I know, like, when you came the other day and you spoke about it, it was more of what we can do in our community. And I am like, I feel like I do a lot that is not always seen. Like, my hands is in a lot of little things. Um and I think it's maybe because a little bit of, I'm afraid. I'm not really sure if, okay, you're on YouTube, because back in the days, well, for me, even 5 years ago, 7 years ago, somebody said they're on YouTube streaming, I'd be like, what are you doing on YouTube streaming? Go get a job, right? And little did I know that this is a whole nother world, right? It's a way to reach people. And I started it because I wanted to inspire and motivate people in my little corner. Because me, Pastor Gill, you may not probably can't tell, but I am like the shyest person to be up front and talk.
Shy.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Yes, I am. I, I am the the last person to say I'll do it. I'll be in the behind the scenes. I'll run the cameras. I'll run I'll put the show together, put the program together, tell everybody what to do, but I'll be in the background and let everybody do the work. That's just always been me. So when COVID happened, because I lost my job as a medical coder and I lost my job, and I'm very creative, do a lot of design and different things. That's just me. So I was like, let me do some t-shirts. And, I have one here that says know your worth. Psalms 139 verse 14, know your worth. So I do a lot of Bible scripture t-shirts. So let me go and design it and then go on Facebook and tell people about the shirts. And little did I know that I was going to end up on YouTube inspiring people and motivating people. And I see God opening that door for me to be able to speak, even though I am really introvert. That's not me. I'm funny. I can probably do more funny stuff, Pastor Gill, than really just open up and just speak. But when the Holy Spirit get a hold of me, then I'm all mouth, right? And I look at it as it's a way to, like, with our church being built now, a lot of things that I'm doing, I'm preparing for um to be able to do production like this when it comes to broadcasts and things like that within my church. And I saw where God took me from not knowing anything about the platform or anything about lighting and cameras and softwares that can stream, to now a whole full-on production that I can use to build my church, to broadcast our services. And I see that as a way of, a lot of young people have these talents. We have them, and we need to understand that when we get these gifts, it's okay to say, yes, I'm in college, but come back home and do something within your circle, because we're not it's our church. It's where we grew up. Our parents or our loved ones are still there. It's where we grew up. So when we grow up and we have all these areas of expertise, whether it's vocals or production or music, whatever it is, it's so much to be done in a church. And I love that this Catch the Vision is geared towards, what are you going to do to bring back to your community? We want you to stay right here and build the community that you have. It's okay to go and get the education, but come back and let what you learned, your experience and all these things,
Yeah,
be
be
a
a
way
blessing.
to build your church.
Mm-hmm.
To build your church. And I absolutely love that. And I see where God is moving me in a way that I'm able to do things that I never thought I would be able to do, that I would even want to do. I cringed when I come on here sometimes and I have to speak, or I say something. Sometimes I feel like this Jamaican voice is gonna come out and I'm gonna be like, "Nyeh." But God has opened up the doors to where I get comments and like, Samantha, you inspired me today. You spoke something into me, and I was truly blessed. And I see where it's my little corner, and I'm gonna stay in the little corner, Pastor Gill. But I know that somebody somewhere that I may never meet will one day, look back and say, that young lady said something to me, and because of that, I was inspired. I was motivated to do something about my life. And that's what it's all about. It's all
Just
about
inspire.
catching the vision, seeing it, writing it down for yourself, make it plain, and doing something about it, not keeping it to yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
this Catch the Vision, I'm definitely excited about it, and can't wait to see what is birthed out of the 20 years of having this conference. And it's
Mm-hmm.
right in my hometown, so I'm like, yes, can't miss
You better
it.
be there.
It's I know, right? Better be in there. Yes, right in my hometown. So anyone in the chat, um have a question, if you have a question in regards to Catch the Vision,
I
and
would like to learn more
we do want to get help with some
because I can
speakers. We
relate.
need speakers, we need some supporters, whatever. If you know anyone, talented people, talented young people that can speak, that can give a word, and they may not be able to speak, but trust me, if they ask the Lord will give them a word.
That's
So
right.
anybody that you know, um reach out to Pastor Gil or
That if they know you, they could reach out to you too as well. You could, and then because so no, no, yeah, yeah, because the thing is that, like, right, people who probably listening have never been to Catch the Vision, maybe don't understand like the depth in which we try to really deal from. Right, this is not just another conference with singing, and then people hours in a pause, and you go home, and then you say, okay, we had a great time. This is really about empowering you at your level,
yes,
and all of you can do something great and mighty, and all of you all who will listen, who will come through again when this goes off and they keep on spinning through the cycle. It's really, we want you to be able to be a blessing to your community. And when we say community, is that we are talking about beyond the four walls of the church, right? Your your gift that God has given you is so big that your church alone can't contain it. We don't want you to think small in terms of your gifting. There are those of you who can really even apply for grants to be able to teach young people in your communities, in your neighborhood, how to do social media or how to do whatever your gifting would be. We want you to think outside of the box. We want your church. If your church is being built right now and you're spending $1 million, $2 million to build a church in a facility, we can't come into town and not know, like, hey, here is this church, because your church is only open on a Saturday and then you close it. It has to be the lifeline, the lifeblood of the
right.
community. It has to open up opportunities and hire people. I remember, like, 4 5 maybe 5 years ago, you know, yeah, I had no one to hire. Like, I was trying to hire a secretary, I was trying to hire someone part-time, and today we have grown our organization to have full-time employees and to really do more that we didn't thought that we could have done. And we stayed right in our community. We didn't move. And we became a blessing within our community. And we started to change and we started to help young people. And so the church became a blessing totally overall. And young people are actually working for us right now, who 20 years ago I was telling them the vision, they didn't want to believe it. Now they catch the vision. And so they're working with us right this minute. So this conference in July 1st to the 3rd, in Port St. Lucie, Florida, it's really to, again, to be able to equip you, to be able to bring you to a place that your God-given talent can really be a blessing to not just you or your church, but also to your community. And why I keep on saying that over and over again? Because the church is really about people. We are called to people. That's what it is. We are called to a community. We are called to service. And the way that we are called to service and the service that we perform and we do is to be able to be blessings to individuals. So I want to challenge all of you young people, all of you millennials. The conference is really based on even millennials and all of the data that is coming out of the research that's saying that, again, the way that people look at God. Um, a lot of Christians, American Christians, and don't have the same belief in the Bible anymore. We want to help you through some of those
Right.
challenges that you are facing, even in your own faith. So this is going to be more of a cutting edge conference, more of a relevant issue, more of a modern day type of topics, as opposed to some of the topics that we had before. We're not covering dating and all that different things anymore. We really talked about people mind, the psyche, and how to make good decisions in life.
Right. It will be in Port St. Lucie, Florida, July 1st to the 3rd. The
It's going to
location
be at the Port St. Lucie
it,
local
it
church.
is at Port St. Lucie Church. Okay.
Yeah, it's going
So
to
it
be at,
is
I think it's called Trevor.
Treasure
Trevor.
Coast. So it will be
Yeah,
at Treasure Coast Church.
this is the
Um,
first time in 20 years that we are at a church, just
okay.
so everyone know. This is the very, very, very first time. And the reason that we went to a church is because of COVID-19. And we just did not want this to pass. So we go into a local church. And so it'll be at the church. But again, it's going to be a hybrid conference. And it's going to be Paul packed with at least 20 great speakers for sure,
Okay.
coming from all over, and you wouldn't want to miss the time and the opportunity as well.
Right. July 1st to the 3rd.
Yes,
Um,
it's going to start on Friday.
Friday.
We're doing it for the weekend, like normally, again, this is the first time that we ever have a conference on the weekend. We normally start on Wednesday, all day Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Yes.
and Sunday. But again, because of COVID-19, coming out of COVID-19, it's going to be Friday evening along with Saturday. Again, one main stage, over 20 speakers, really powerful subjects, powerful topics, really great resources, great help, panel discussion. Something great, though, I want to say to you, right, Samantha? We also have Marketplace Meets Ministry, where we're going to highlight all of our social media influencers, people who have businesses, so that we can support one another. So we're going to
Support
have a
one another.
section that's called Marketplace to highlight people like yourself so that you can have
Great.
more viewers and more
What
supporters
you
as
know,
well.
Pastor Gill, I had a great thought today when I was thinking preparing for the interview with you was to do a live broadcast during the service. So Friday we'll be there and we'll have we'll interview each people that come in and ask them how
Yes,
they like the conference and things. So we have a live setting to do,
definitely.
so to be broadcast live all over through this platform. That was something that came to me today. Just to answer Claudette, pictures is in. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The church name is Treasure Coast. Treasure Coast Seventh Day Church of God in Port St. Lucie, Florida. It's the Treasure Coast Church of God Seventh
Oh,
Day.
see what you.
So
I'm typing
welcome
too.
to be here. And Tashika had a comment. She said, I think we should first introduce these new platform and new gadgets to the leaders of the church so they can get familiar with them so they will easily and readily say okay and give the younger people an opportunity to use those talents and gifts to enhance the church.
Oh,
And I absolutely love that because that is true. Because funny thing. Let's go back to TV. When TV first came out, right? We could have watched TV, we could have watched movies. It was don't watch that box, that black box is, don't watch that. And now everything is internet. Internet came out, Facebook came out, and you guys on Facebook, don't go on Facebook, get off of Facebook. And now it's what when the world shut down, it was what we had to lean on to be able to communicate. And I love that comment that she made, that we need to find some time to teach them how to, because everything in the world has a good and a bad to it. We have the social media world and there's bad, but there's also good, right? Just like um driving or anything that you're doing, some everything has a negative to it, but we have to try to do the positive. And I love that the social media world is there and there's a lot of positivity, and I came on this platform to be able to share a lot of positivity, um because there is negative, so we have to teach them that there is good that can come out of having a YouTube channel, or come out of having a Facebook, or be an influencer on Instagram or on the social media network. So I love that comment, Tashika, and that is something that we definitely will look into doing, to giving some education on these social media platforms and how to be on them and get on them and use it to benefit not only the church and the community, right? To be able to do what Jesus would do, again, Pastor Gill, to reach the people where they are,
right.
right?
And so, yeah, she was saying about how if we're gonna work to introduce these new platforms. So, what are we also saying too as well is that where the world is right this minute, the church must pivot,
Yes,
and we have to pivot quickly. If we didn't pivot over the last 2 years,
right.
like just for instance, in our church, um, basically we never closed our doors. I mean, the church was closed for at least a year or so, maybe, but we did food pantries, COVID-19 relief every Friday. We did deliveries to people who had medical conditions. So our food pantry itself, services never closed. We did more ministry, and our organization grew the most during COVID-19.
Right.
Thousands and hundreds of thousands of masks and hand sanitizers and gloves was distributed. Food, we gave away food. We were the center for food and transshipment point. Trucks and truckloads of supply would come, turkey and beef for Thanksgiving. Our food pantry quadruple over COVID-19. Where we are today is not where we were 2 years ago. So the more opportunity that we had, that when we saw that there was a need, was the more opportunity that the church grew. Then we had our farmers market, the only free farmers market in our neighborhood. The only free farmers market in central Brooklyn was at our church. The only free farmers market on Saturday. That's major. And so here it is that we're doing this at the epicenter of COVID-19. So people will come and say, well, Pastor Monrose, how could you be giving out food on Saturday? Like the sun is way up in the sky, and you giving out food, you packing bags, and I'm saying this is the work that the church should be involved in. This is Jesus' work. So the holy saints will be like, we're not touching this. Well, I'm saying, okay, fine. Well, I'm going to rock out with the saints who know for sure that this is what we're going to do. This is ministry.
Yes.
And I was saying to them, like when I was younger, we used to have to like put speakers and take instruments, and we would go out to the street to play music on a Saturday, then pack everything back up and come back home. That is more work than me just packing bags and giving people food
and
and loving them and saying,
feeding the hungry. Yeah.
yeah, how could we pray for you? Like how could we love you today? What's going on with you and in your life and what have you? So we did all that. So if churches today feel that they're going to go back to the 1963, the way they're doing things, it's not going to work. So what I've done too as well in our church is that our church is 2 hours, like 10 to 12, like church is done. We have other things, but it is not like what we were doing before. We're not going back to that what we used to do before. Why? Because the majority of the people who came out in the beginning is the people who was like who was saying that no matter what happens, I'm going to keep my car, I'm going to keep my faith. And so they would come out, and they were steady, and we started to say, listen, we figure out that a lot of ministries was no absolute or obsolete, right? Is it obsolete?
Absolutely.
They're not functioning anymore because post COVID, we didn't need a lot of these ministries. So there was like only like 4 ministries in our church where we were operating. So leaders have to shift to what is happening now and can't do ministry based on what we did in COVID. But a lot of churches, unfortunately, it's definitely feel like they're post-COVID in terms of their ministry and their work. Yes, I agree with whoever said whatever.
I know somebody was asking in the chat if you can follow Pastor Gil on all social media platforms. It's Pastor Monrose is on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and at Pastor Monrose. So you can go to anyone on the social media platform.
I don't do TikTok because I don't have time to do videos, so I'm not gonna be on TikTok.
You can find him there on any one of these social media platforms. Okay, Kenya threw a comment in the chat. She says, we not heating things on the car anymore. Not anymore.
What's that?
Heating, like we back in the day, we used to have to put the stuff in the leave the food in the car dash so it can get warm. We're not doing that anymore.
Who is Kenya? Kenya got you got.
That was back in the day.
Kenya is all up in our sauce, boy. she know the history. Yeah, Kenya. All right. No, we're not heating things up in our car anymore. We have hot plates now. It's a new day. and hot ovens, you just plug them in and you put your stuff on there and it gets hot while you start your service. So yeah, she's in everything. I gotta meet this Kenya. You know Kenya?
Yes, she Kenya. I know Kenya.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So Kenya, get up in my DM somehow so we can connect.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, laugh out loud. Not the dashboard. Yes, the dashboard. That used to be it back in the days. I remember those days. Definitely
Yeah.
remember those days. Definitely remember those days. Yes, Pastor Gil. This was I think we top. I don't know if there's anything else that we need to touch on before.
No, I'm just gonna give everyone again. You know, the way that this work, right? The way that this work is for me is that the power the power of connectivity. Okay, I don't ever want you to come to conference because I want to be able to have a large crowd, because I don't need a large crowd. I could do a conference at my local church and my local community, and I do 200-300 faith leaders at events. So it's not about a crowd
Right.
at all. It's about empowerment. It's about realizing the ability for an organization like ours, Sabbath Keeping, Church of God, 7 Day, whatever form, fashion, creed, new ager, old ager, whatever the case is, new name, don't have the Church of God 7 Day in it, but yet still you grew up, you learn, you got your upbringing,
Yeah.
all of those people, all of those areas and genres is about empowerment. So what I need for you to do is I really need for you to, spread the word. It's a very simple concept. It's the 4th of July weekend. Monday's a holiday. And I want you to rock out with us for 3 days. Like, if you're in Florida, don't be lazy and say you only come in on Saturday at 12 o'clock, right? You're not gonna enjoy the whole thing. You gotta be there from Friday,
What time does it
six
start
o'clock.
on Friday, Pat? Is it Friday
Right,
evening?
Friday. I'm debating with my team right now, and they were
Okay.
like, "We gotta start at 7 o'clock." I'm like, "No, I'm not having church from 7 to 9 on a Friday.
And then have to
I
come back
want
Saturday
church from
morning. Yeah.
6 to 8." Like,
Yes.
we have
A
to
bit
think like
earlier.
this is a new age, right? I don't want to be there like 8, 9, 10. No, 6 to 8, and then you can go home and then you can get ready, and then we start like 10 the next day, and then we'll run through the rest of the day. And then Saturday evening, we're going to have a nice social, light food, just fellowship and just talking to one another, getting to know people on a personal level. And then Sunday we'll have a brunch, a closing brunch, at the same place again on the property. And so it's really about an opportunity to empower and to have fellowship with people, especially coming after
The
COVID-19.
connection.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
A
definitely.
nice
So spread the word. Hmm.
connection with people. We may have to send out some letters. Kenya's needing one for her employer, so she can take that whole weekend off.
Wait,
And
wait, 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 wait. Kenya, you don't have any time off. You don't need the whole week off. You need Friday off so you can get there early, and that's it. Monday's a holiday. You only need one day off. That's it.
yes,
So everyone take Friday off if you're in Florida. This is what I'm saying to you. Take Friday off. Find a friend to stay by, like in the Port St. Lucie area, whatever you want to do. And you come Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Sunday we're done. That's it. You got to take one day off. That's Friday.
Claudette, where are you located? Because you're
Oh,
asking
we,
about a
we
nearby hotel. There
so
are
the
hotels here. So that is
the
something that
the
I can definitely check out for you. But let me know where you're coming from.
she's in Florida. So the hotel is the home
Which
suite
the home
home
suite,
suite hotel in Tradition in Port St. Lucie. That's the
the
hotel that
in
we're gonna be
traditions,
using.
the one in
Yeah, home
tradition
suite. Yeah, home suite.
off of
Something
Gatlin.
Tradition.
That's close, right off of Gatlin Boulevard. In
Yeah.
traditions, yeah. Okay.
So we will be there again. This conference is totally different from the rest of the conferences. We're not doing the hotel thing. We're not doing it. We just asking people to come and just fellowship with us. I know I have people flying in from different places. Yes, we're going to support them in making sure that they have a place to stay and what have you. But a lot of local folks, listen, we're not going through all that rigmarole. There is a registration fee. The registration is, I think, is $99 for the weekend. um, because we have to do a hybrid conference, and so there's a lot of tech things involved, and we want to document what we do. We It's not about making money because again, we have some. Again, we don't have that expense that we had before, trying to figure out food and well, we got to pay for some food, but like all this stuff that we used to do before. So thank God that we don't have to do all of this. What we are basing this on is your availability, your time, coming to a place of fellowship, and being in Central Florida, which Port St. Lucie. If you look at West Palm, if you look at River Beach, if you look at Orlando, that's up north. When you go down south, you have Fort Lauderdale, you have Miami, whatever else is down that side, Hollywood. Those are like our tops to get to Port St. Lucie. So everybody should be cool.
It's a little bit of a median. It is a little bit of a median area. So Kenya works with HR. So you can give yourself a day off. Um with this regard, so I can keep my PTO and they can pardon me.
What? Kenya, you out there, girl?
Lake Mary. Okay, you're in Lake Mary, Florida. Okay.
that
Okay.
that's that's not. I don't know where Lake Mary is,
Lake
but
Mary is out west, northwest, or southwest.
so northwest. Okay, so northwest, cool. That's okay. They'll find folks in Florida will find how to get to Port St. Lucie. Port St. Lucie is right on the map. You come down, we'll give you the hotel in another 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You book your hotel, and that's it really. That's all you really need. We give you the information for the registration, and that will take care of all of just the fees
Yes,
that we need
so
to cover for the service.
It's north. It's north from me. It's 20 minutes from Orlando south or 20 minutes from Orlando north.
Oh, good. I like what you did right there with my Pastor Monrose tag. That's good stuff. You rocking it out. I love it.
Um, yes, Pastor. I got it. I
So,
got
so we got more people on right now viewing than we had for the whole evening. So I know. I hope you guys like calling people and telling them to come on. So we rocking out right now
it.
at the highest number. So that's great. And another thing that I need from millennials and all of you, I need talent, right? When I say talent, I mean I need you to find me talent. I don't just want singers. I want people who could draw and sing. I want people who can do spoken word um that you created for this time. I want artists. I want to be able to highlight the richness and the vitality of our church, of our body, of our young people. I want business people to come. Like you have a business, I want you to bring your product, right? We want to support you. We want to turn around millionaires, right? We
Yes.
want to be supportive to ministries and all of these social media influencers and people who really go with pictures and who can post. I want people who could tweet. This is what we're looking for. We need talent, and that talent that we're looking for, if you could help us to find it, that would be really great. We would really,
Okay.
really appreciate it.
Definitely. Um, so that is what we need.
Gen
Everyone
Z,
that's in the
okay,
chat.
all right, Gen Z. My mistake. Sorry, Samantha. I'm talking to millennials. I'm talking to Gen Z. I'm talking to Gen Y and
Kenya.
Q.
It's your Kenya.
I'm talking to all of y'all. All of you people who don't know what a cassette player is, I'm talking to you. Millennials, Gen Z, all of you. So, so those of you who have who is in that category, let's talk. I got work for you all.
You're coming to Florida where all the talent is. This is Florida. We're made for this. Um,
They have all talk. Like, what's up with that? Like all talk. Like,
talk. We're gonna
so
make sure that all the talent is there. Chico, you want all the talent to be in the building. In the
okay,
building.
so type and tell me what type of talent is in the building. Let me know. So what's up? You should send them a link so that they should come on
And I know,
on
right?
this. Yeah, next time we'll do it. Let's plan one that we'll send
We
the
can
link to a
have some
few
people come
people.
on. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
We'll
let's
we'll
do that.
plan one for that. I have Josh Cole here. Good night, Josh. Good to have you in the house tonight. Free Fire, good to have you. These are all my Jamaican buddies here. They're
Free
in.
fire.
Yeah, let me play it out. Gotta play their music. Where is their music? Let me play. Let me hook you guys up in a second. Hold on. I know what they're. Thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Thanks for
Okay.
coming.
Also, to now that you did that, another thing that I would love to also have is I would love to have a DJ over the weekend. So if we have a DJ too as well, you could definitely connect with me. We would love to have a DJ playing with us throughout the weekend.
Okay.
That would be great too as well.
Okay.
Um, so those of you, Florida has a talent. So tell me, like, what talent? Okay, we
We
know
have
that we
really
got
good
the singing.
musicians, and I'm not just tooting my horn because my little brother is a musician, but we have really good, talented musicians here.
So talk to me.
We
Tell me.
really
Give
do.
me like a run. Tell me what like
My
talent
mom's
if you could.
laughing. She heard me. Yeah, I'm not just saying just because it's my brother, but we have some good musicians, and
Okay, we got
Lansville
musicians.
is a
Okay,
good one.
check. What else we
Okay,
got?
and there's some in Fort Lauderdale. You have Jarrell. You have Damien from Ware Drive. There's a lot of people that are good. There's Kendrick, Dante, drummer. We have some really good ones. So I will be talking to them and getting that situated. I'll get
Yeah.
some
I,
and I
I,
know
I
we have
want
some
I
singers
want
as
I want
well.
artists, right? I want artists like people again who can do a lot of different things to showcase the talent because we want to be able to showcase talents, all different type of talents. I'm talking about um again, like I said, people could sing, people can what's going on? Oh, you not a DJ?
Kenny says, not a DJ, Pastor, I'm born again. It will trigger me.
Kenya, Kenya. All right, Kenya, you're gonna have to host a session for me for sure.
Oh God.
So you know Kenya. So Kenya, you need to reach out to me, okay? For surety, you gotta do that. I'm on my phone, so I can't check my social media.
We do
So
have
make sure that
acting.
you connect with
There's a
me.
lot of actors. We do have some really good actors here. We have some
Okay,
singers too, and there's
that's good.
dancing. There's we have a lot of praise dancers as well. Now not to toot my little horn again, but South Florida, right? There's two people that I know who they are, yeah, that started this praise dance thing. So we got some talented people down here,
Okay,
right?
good. We're taking notes. Hey, my wife just came on. Hey, baby, just got to give her a shout out.
Where is she, Lady D?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's give you some. Let's give it. We got to give her some confetti. She gets confetti. Let's
Oh, she gets
go. Let's
confetti.
go.
Yay! She gets
Good to
confetti.
have you. Good to have you in the
Okay.
house.
So Wayne Merchant, you talking about the MC?
It is.
You have a poet.
It is. Yeah, there's a
Um.
poet. We have
Okay.
poetry. There's some really good poets. Yes.
Okay.
MC. There's
Okay.
Wayne is a good MC as well. Um,
Okay.
okay.
Got it.
Shakenya, who is retired? They retired. Same. They bones can't do it anymore. Who is retired?
Oh,
Um,
she just causing trouble
in the chat.
in your chat. She's one of the distractors in the chat.
She's
But
causing
yeah.
some.
So if we can get we open for those talents like to showcase your talent, that's what we want. So I think that Florida, listen, if you have the talent, I'm willing to use you. I'm willing to support you. I'm willing to have you come in. Again, it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We are so delighted to be able to have young people to really help us to put on one of the best conferences that we think is possible after COVID-19. So yeah, let's go. We're ready. So I think that's it. July the 1st to the 3rd, Port St. Lucie, Florida, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's open to all of you. I would love to have you.
Love to have everyone there. And we're going to definitely do this again. And I think the next time we'll do this, Pastor Gail, we may need to do it, but have a lot of people come on and put out what they are able to bring to the conference, what they're able to do for that conference. So we could have a lineup as to what talent showcase we're going to do, what businesses are out there. So please, guys, share this live stream and spread the word. Let people know that we're looking for the talents. We're looking for people to come to the conference with their business ideas or their businesses. This is a connection conference. It's a way of promoting our young people, promoting our businesses that are right here. This is what this conference is for. So if there's fashion designers, let's have them. Let them know that we're looking for them to come to this
Listen,
conference
I'm
so we
looking
can
for
have.
somebody to dress me, and I can wear their clothes. I will promote their clothes all weekend long. So whoever's a fashion designer, whoever makes clothes or what have you,
Yes.
I'm willing to rock it out. My wife willing to rock it out. Put it on social media. We'd be like at the conference, we'd be like, hey, this person, is our stylist or what have you. Listen, we're doing everything. So
Yes.
yeah, for sure.
I think this is going to be good night, Nitro. Good to have you here. Good to have you in the house.
Everybody with these names, like I guess it's another Jamaican.
Yes, these are my Jamaican friends. I go into their stream and support them, and they always come over and stick around. So good to have you here. Listen, this is going to be a great conference this year. I think we should really do another stream to have people come on. Please, guys, share this, talk to everyone, your churches. Let your young people know that this conference is not just about preaching, talking, and do. It's about showcasing the talents that we have in our youths. It's about us. It's about our young people. It's about how we can put put a vision into them for them to do what they need to do to build their communities. So please share it, talk to your different churches, your young people, seek out the talents that are there as well. If you need to, you can also send it to myself as well. You can find me as well. Hold on, Pastor Gill, you're still here. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram as well. You can message me as well if you know anyone or want to be a part of this conference. Please, Samantha Just Inspire on all social platforms as well, that you can send your information to there as well. All right. Um, let's see, I had another comment that came in here. Kenya says she can hype the crowd so we can have a party Saturday night, and Shakenya will be the hype for that night. Oh gosh, she said we need a COG Shin. Now this is the company that sells all these stuff, and we need one for Church of God. And that is a listen, that's a good idea because a lot of us make things, and we can definitely create one and start selling our little items
That's
in
right.
that.
That
That
that's
is
why we
so
have ministry, marketplace meet the ministry, so that
yes,
all of the people who have products and who have
yes,
shirts and who have candles and
yes.
waxes and
So many,
all that
so
stuff.
many things. I
Yep.
may bring some inspirational t-shirts for sale if that's
Sure.
okay.
Yep.
Let's go.
That's okay.
Let's go. I have a few like I literally have a production thing going on here where I have my little heat
Good.
press, my t-shirts and
So
all
so
that
here's
stuff.
what I'm going to do. I'm going to wear someone product at every turn throughout the conference. So because again, we want to highlight,
Showcase
because
it.
right now you don't need to be in Florida in order to sponsor or pay for t-shirts.
Right.
You could be anywhere in the world.
Right.
So instead of paying for and supporting other people, why don't we support our
Our
own?
own. Right.
And that is what we intended to do. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Marketplace meets ministry. Yes.
Yep. That's
Yes.
what it is.
Definitely. And I know Rachel Syria from Jacob. Yes, Rachel definitely is
Yeah.
fashion designer, and she's into that. And she did a really some really cool pieces the other day. I think it was last year or the year before for Black History, and it was how to be modest and still be in
I,
today's and it was beautiful.
I was on that one too.
Yes. So that is something that we can definitely highlight that as well. Um, Pastor
Yeah.
Gill, do you have a link for the marketplace? Is there like a YouTube or a Facebook
No,
group or
not
something?
as yet.
Not as
Not
yet.
as
Okay.
yet. We're just building on the concept now, and we'll have that soon.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. And then we'll be able
Yeah.
to share that out as well. So definitely we're looking forward. We're in March. April, May, June. We have another about maybe 2, 3 more months to get everything
Yeah.
going. Where can I find a link to register? Because Pastor, because I have
Not, not, not
issuing order pending. Like, Shakenya.
soon. We'll get we get the registration to you all soon.
Okay, okay, and it is $99 for the entire weekend.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
I'm gonna
okay.
confirm everything, but yeah, somewhere around there, like $99 or something like that.
Okay. Is there an age
Uh,
limit? Is there a family? Because maybe what we could do is put a family. Because I have two babies that I can't leave.
we don't charge babies. We're a family conference, so no,
Okay.
we
So $90
like under
per
5 or 7
probably
or
then. Okay.
yeah. Don't worry
Okay.
about that.
Therefore, we can and probably put something together that it includes your family, like for people that have more than like some 13-year
Yeah.
olds or things like that.
Yep.
So a package deal for those families, so
That
that everyone
yep.
will be able to be
It
part.
will be definitely the cheapest or the least expensive conference, I should say, not cheapest,
Hey,
least
buddy.
expensive conference that we have ever had. Because again, we're not doing a lot of different worrying about rooms and flying. We in Florida, y'all. We in Florida. We in Florida. All you got is jump in your car and drive down to Port St. Lucie, right? Get
Right.
some friends of wherever you want to be, and you spend Friday, Saturday night, Sunday we close out. You rock out. You can go wherever you want to go on Sunday. After you come to the brunch, on Monday's a holiday, so you don't have to rush to go back. You could take your time, and so if you're taking time off, you can even take a half a day on Friday, and still reach in time for 6 o'clock service on a
Okay.
Friday. So there is no reason why Florida shouldn't be in the house.
There's no reason
None
why we shouldn't
whatsoever.
we shouldn't fill the house. We should dominate this year, guys. Sammy Superstar is here. Good evening, Sammy. Glad to have you. Sammy is truly a superstar. Just to drop this in there, everything that you see me doing, it's an Ecamm Live. This is the platform that I use to do my live stream. And Sammy, this he's in college, young kid, and 17, 18, and
Mm.
he like I just started using this platform about November, December, around November, and he comes in and he helps me to set it up to understand it and like
Sammy.
that. So
All
Sammy
right, good.
is
We want to use
um
him too. We want him
oh,
to help
he's
us out on
good
the tech
with
end.
the tech stuff. He is the go-to tech guy, the go-to cameras, go-to video. He's a good with tech as well. There's a few of them on this platform that I go to when I need
Good.
help. So Sammy's definitely one of them. Thank you for being here, Sammy. Good to
Cool.
have you in tonight. Um, Sam has the best guest on her streams. We learn so much. Thank you, Josh. So good to have you guys come in and support. Good to have you here. Um, Shikenya, I can set up extension cords. I think we need to have.
You said that you said that Kenya?
Yes, I know Kenya.
All right.
She
Good.
said she can set up extension cords. Um, Kenya,
Hey,
okay.
blessings, man. Nitro 101. Um Thank you for welcoming me as well. It's
Yes,
good to be on the platform. And listen, Samantha, we want to do this again.
yes,
You are a person of patience. When we wanted to do this, I was going through the transition
yeah,
for the election, and so it was hard to get Thursdays.
Yeah.
But now we settle in and we're moving. So I'm gonna be. So what I'm gonna do, I want to say one more thing and then I'm done. I'm gone.
Okay.
Say good night to everybody. Is that I'm gonna definitely try to come down to Florida again for another visit. I know I was there like last year. We talked about it. We had a meeting at the church, but I want to come down again. You're gonna put me on. We're gonna talk about it, and then we all gonna meet, right? And we're gonna meet someplace in Florida. I think I need to go to Port St. Lucie. I kind of need to see the location again, or somewhere to meet with everybody, have dinner or something. All of the thought thinkers, the
Yes.
community folks, the social media influencers, the artists,
Yes.
the talents, and just really, talk with one another, because I think that this could be a really powerful time together in Florida. So thank you again for having me on. Tell your mom that
Yes.
I
I
love her,
will,
because
Pastor Gilford.
she bailed me out one year. I was dead broke, didn't know what to do, and she was like, "Okay, I'm gonna advance you like some money. I'm gonna have everybody pay the registration fees." And she sent that money to me. I was like, "Oh, thank you, Jesus." But no more. I got enough gray hair for raising those money. But yeah, much love to her for sure, helping us
Yes.
out. She was a blessing. Thank you all so
Yes.
much.
No
And good to see
problem,
all of you
Pastor
folks
Gil.
on
We
the line
love
too,
you.
right?
We love you. 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 So we will stay. We'll connect with you later. I'm gonna sit a little bit and chat with my friends right
Yep,
here before they leave. So,
no problem.
thank you for being
Thank you.
here. Thank you so much for
Blessings
being
and
here,
have a
and
good
we'll do
night.
it again. Okay.
Thank you.
And please say hello
Thank
to
you
your
all.
wife for me. Tell her sorry for keeping you so late.
Will do. Thanks
Okay.
again.
Have a good night.
God bless everybody. Take
All
care.
right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining tonight. This was very informative, and I hope that everyone that was here tonight is able to be a part of Catch the Vision this year in July. It is about 3 months away, so there's a lot of time to plan, to prepare to be at this conference. It's going to be an awesome, awesome, awesome weekend. And trust me, I'm looking forward to being there as well. So please, 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 if you have any questions, I'm going to put my links up again so that you're able to see where you can connect with me right here on Facebook. If you have any questions, you're able to connect with me here. Also, you can also connect with me on my Instagram page, my Twitter page, or on Facebook as well with any questions or any comments or anything that you may have in regards to Catch the Vision or anything else, maybe any concerns you may have or questions you may have as well. I am so happy that everyone was here tonight. I still see a few more of you here. If you have any more questions before I sign off, you can just put a Q before it and I will take your questions. If not, and there's nothing else, I am going to call it a night. We're going to wrap it up. And I will be back on Tuesday again. And we're going to have someone else on the show on Tuesday. Um, that will be another interview on Tuesday as well. And also on Thursday. So please connect with me on any one of these platforms. And I will see you again so you guys can talk for a bit. In about 4 minutes, I will sign off. Um, Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here, Shakenya. I am going to reach out to you, girl. Thanks, Shika. I'm glad that you're able to get in and was able to comment as well. Glad you're able to be here. So good to have you guys all, and we definitely need to share this out to everyone in our local churches in our community so that they can all be a part and plan to attend this conference here in July. And it's going to be in Port St. Lucie, Florida. So it's not far from Palm Beach, West Palm, Orlando, or Miami. It's a good distance. So we're looking to see everyone South Florida be here in Port St. Lucie July 1st through the 3rd. It's going to be an awesome weekend. Good night, Wayne. It's good to have you as well. And thank you so much, Josh. It's always good to have you guys, to see you guys pop in. So good to have you here. Thank you so much for being here and supporting. Thanks, Kenya. It's so good to see you in the chat. I was really happy to have you here as well. So definitely, I am here every Tuesday and Thursday at 8:30, whether I'm doing an interview or just doing encouragement or uplifting comments, anything like that. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday just to motivate and to inspire everyone that comes in and chit chat. So good. Sammy, you're the boss. I know. Thank you. No, you naturally, I love you, right? I love you. Thanks for being here. You're such a good supporter. Um, who will you have on next time? Okay. I can quickly show you guys on Tuesday. I'm going to, and all my streams are already uploaded, so you guys can see and put your reminder on as well for those. I do have let me see, on Tuesday, which is March 15th, and it is women's International Women's Month, right? So we're going to be talking about woman empowerment with Dr. Tanisha Allen. She will be our guest on Tuesday. And then on Thursday next week, we have another um, powerful woman that's going to be talking about proper skin routines and how to stay looking young and beautiful and flawless and glow, have that glow on your skin. So that will be on Thursday. And then there's more coming up the following week. So stick around and stay tuned for that as well. Definitely Pastor Gil. Shikenya will be connecting with you. I will let her know to reach out. Later, Nitro. I will see you if you stream tomorrow. I'll pop in tomorrow as well and see you guys. Okay, so about another minute, and then I'll be back on Tuesday. Love you, Free Fire. Have a good night, guys.